Gohan delivers a sickening blow that forces the enraged android to vomit up Android 18, instantly reverting Cell to his semi-perfect state with a pathetic 580 million power level. At this point, Gohan could effortlessly flick the bug to death, and even Vegeta or Trunks could beat him into a bloody pulp. However, the cunning insect rapidly inflates his own body into a colossal ticking time bomb, threatening to instantly obliterate the Earth and everyone standing nearby. Rumor has it this catastrophic detonation equals hundreds of tons of raw explosives. Thinking on his feet, Goku utilizes his signature instant transmission to teleport that lethal bomb into the deep cosmos, blowing up the Supreme Kai and his pet monkey in a blinding flash. The Grand Ruler of the galaxy suffers an utterly pointless death, all because of Earth, a tiny insignificant speck sitting on the edge of the universe. Unfortunately, Cell survives the blast. By pure luck, his core brain nucleus remains intact, allowing him to flawlessly regenerate from scratch. Furthermore, he resurrects straight into his flawless, perfect form without needing Android 18. Thanks to the Saiyang genetic trait coursing through his veins, his immense strength skyrockets to a terrifying 8 billion. To make matters worse, he masters Goku's instant transmission technique, immediately warping back to the earthly battlefield. A sinister gust of wind sweeps across the wasteland, and Trunks is brutally murdered on the spot, consumed by blinding grief over his fallen son. Vegeta unleashes his furious 2.2 billion power level to assault the monster, only to be ruthlessly struck down in a heartbeat. Thankfully, Gohan steps in to carry the heavy burden, saving the proud prince from certain doom. However, the heroic young Saiyang suffers a severely crippled arm as the brutal cost for protecting his comrade. Growing utterly bored of this pathetic brawl, Cell decides to annihilate the planet alongside this wretched group of losers. He fires a catastrophic Kamehameha wave packing a monstrous 9.5 billion power level, perfectly matching the peak strength Gohan displayed earlier. The grim reality is that Gohan now stands crippled at death's door, forced to face oblivion with a single functioning arm and his energy severely cut in half. From the afterlife, Goku channels his voice through King Kai to telepathically encourage his son, preaching that unshakable faith conquers all obstacles. Clinging to that profound belief, Gohan launches a desperate one-handed Kamehameha to counter the handsome devil. At that precise moment, the power of faith works miracles as the spirit of Goku manifests to support his boy. It looks perfectly like Yugi pulling off a ridiculous cheat code, neutralizing the blue eyes white dragon through the sheer power of friendship. Gohan pushes his energy output to 9 billion, sitting marginally below the monstrous android. As Cell prepares to deliver the final killing blow, Vegeta plays dirty by hurling a surprise energy blast right at the monster's skull to shatter his focus. The second the villain turns his head to curse the proud prince for his cheap interference, Goku triggers the ultimate cheat code. Funneling his massive spiritual energy directly into his son, the overwhelming beam instantly explodes to 11.5 billion, vaporizing Cell from existence. There is not a single microscopic speck of flesh left to regenerate, securing his permanent death. Wrapping up this saga, the strongest warrior is undeniably Gohan with his raw baseline of 8.4 billion, capping off at a miraculous 11.5 billion when combining spiritual forces with his father. If we compare this to a 12-year-old Goku sitting at a measly 40 power level, this astronomical stat boost stretches beyond the realm of common sense. Oh my goodness, Mr. Satan, what on earth just happened? Where did that terrifying Cell vanish to? Hey, are you talking about those pathetic amateurs performing their glowing magic tricks? I charged right in and kicked that hideous green freak straight into the outer cosmos. As for the rest of that cowardly squad, they showered me with endless gratitude before scurrying away like frightened mice. This is magnificent news. Mr. Satan has heroically rescued our beautiful Earth from the demonic clutches of the vile monster Cell. That is the undeniable truth. Ha ha ha, you heard it here firsthand, folks. Our beloved planet has been granted a second chance at life, and we owe it all to our glorious champion Mr. Satan. Hail our glorious savior Satan. Offer up your hearts. Fast forward 7 peaceful years, and a massive martial arts tournament is underway. Goku manifests from the spirit realm to join the fierce competition, but as fate dictates, wherever this Saiyang walks, sinister villains are sure to follow. Therefore, we will skip the boring filler and jump straight into measuring the power levels of the notable warriors gathered here today. At this mundane era, a world-class human fighter hovers around 38 to 50 points, with someone like the mighty Punta sitting at 38. Naturally, He falls pitifully short of the world champion Satan and his 67 points. Surprisingly, his feisty daughter surpasses her old man with a solid 70 points. Meanwhile, the two wicked henchmen deployed by Barbady to drain energy, Yamu and Spopovich, hold 220 and 230 points respectively. Now it is time to highlight the undisputed strongest Earthling alive, Krillin, holding a comfortable 510,000 power level. As for the overwhelming alien cast, heavens preserve us, the power gap is incredibly ridiculous. The pint-sized Goten kicks off with 5.4 million, bursting into Super Saiyan to hit 270 million. Young Trunks edges ahead with 5.7 million, ascending to 285 million. The mysterious Guardian Kibito brings a respectable 40 million. However, the Supreme Kai, the grand deity above all deities, sits at a staggering 3.6 billion. A number that should make ordinary Saiyans weep in despair, but fear not, for the seemingly rusty Gohan idles at a modest 70 million, only to abruptly erupt into Super Saiyan 2. His energy spikes to a terrifying 7 billion, instantly reducing those prestigious gods to crying messes. No one on this earthly stage can possibly rival Gohan's overwhelming might. Oh no, Gohan is paralyzed by a divine sneak attack, allowing those brainwashed weaklings to violently drain his golden aura. Our young hero is ruthlessly treated as a sacrificial bait so the gods can track down the hidden lair of the dark wizard Barbady. Upon breaching their sinister underground stronghold, our warriors are greeted by a horde of fearsome, nightmarish monstrosities. First up is Pui Pui with 1.65 billion, who is promptly pummeled to death by the arrogant Vegeta. Following him is the light-eating Yakon at 1.34 billion, who gets effortlessly blown to smithereens by Goku, stepping into the ring with the Demon King Dabura, who boasts 4 billion in power. Gohan strangely decides to drag the fight out. The rusty scholar only triggers his base Super Saiyan form, limiting his output to 3.5 billion. His sloppy and hesitant combat style grants the sinister Demon Lord an unnecessary upper hand in the brutal clash. After Dabura gazes into the dark abyss of Vegeta's wicked heart, he immediately reports to Barbady and gracefully retreats from the battlefield. We can blame this disaster entirely on Gohan's foolish hesitation. Had he swiftly executed the Demon King and assassinated the Dark Wizard, the dreaded Majin Buu would have remained sealed away until the distant year 3000. Consequently, Vegeta and his baseline of 85 million fall victim to the wizard's dark mind control. In exchange for his soul, the spell forcefully unlocks the Saiyajin's deeply buried hidden potential. His Super Saiyan multiplier boosts him 50 times to 4.2 billion, while the magical enhancement rounds his total power to a flawless 5 billion. He massacres half the stadium audience just to force Kakarot into a savage deathmatch. What a poetic coincidence! Goku starts with a baseline of 100 million, and his Super Saiyan form perfectly equals 5 billion. Unwilling to drag out the fight and feed precious battle damage into Buu's resurrection gauge, Goku skips the pleasantries and ascends straight to Super Saiyan 2. His 10 billion power level is meant to instantly execute the Rogue Prince and end the madness. To his profound shock, Vegeta also breaches the Super Saiyan 2 barrier, pushing his own limit to an identical 10 billion. With two evenly matched titans colliding, a bloody war of attrition is inevitable, unknowingly fueling the dark cocoon to awaken Majin Buu. Panicking at the sight of Buu's imminent revival, the Supreme Kai screams for Gohan to run for his life. Stubbornly refusing, the young warrior fires a desperate Super Saiyan Kamehameha directly at the Dark Sphere, unleashing 8.3 billion in raw power. Unfortunately, the ancient shell proves far tougher than his meager assault, stubbornly refusing to crack. When the mechanical lid finally hisses open, the terrifying pod is completely empty. Oh well, we are doomed now. If only Gohan had bothered to trigger Super Saiyan 2, rip Dabura's head off, and crush the Dark Wizard, this horror movie would have already rolled its end credits. To everyone's horror, the ominous pink steam from the pod condenses high above the cavern, rapidly morphing into a giant chubby pink blob. Heaven save us. The legendary Majin Buu is merely an overgrown fat toddler. Do not let his comical appearance fool you, for he radiates a monstrous 9 billion combat power without a single transformation, making him the supreme threat in the room. Meanwhile, far outside the rocky battlefield, Vegeta senses this seemingly pathetic 9 billion energy signature and chuckles with immense arrogant disdain. After all, the proud Saiyang Prince commands 10 billion on his own. After Dabura foolishly insults him as a brain-dead clown and an idiotic overgrown toddler, the pink monster throws a catastrophic temper tantrum. Boiling steam violently erupts from his cranial pores, and his beady eyes snap wide open to reveal pure murderous intent. Fueled by raw fury, the Fat Warrior's power skyrockets to 11 billion. Moving faster than lightning, he ruthlessly gouges the eyes of the trash-talking demon lord, before booting the wretched King miles across the desolate wasteland. Gohan is relentlessly hunted down and blasted into a pile of bloody rubble with a single devastating punch. As for the majestic Supreme Kai, he is beaten into the dirt like a ragdoll. The Pink Menace bashes his skull and gleefully stomps on his fragile spine, nearly crushing the god's intestines into paste.